What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB video. Today, we're going to be talking about my updated power rankings going into the next week of the MLB season. It's technically week 3.5. I don't know if I'm going to call it 4 or 3.5 in the thumbnail. I haven't made it yet. But anyways, we got a lot of new updates to this power rankings. A lot of teams went way down. A few teams went way up. A lot of new stuff. Nobody new inside the top 10, but we do have a very, very new order. And we got a new team at number 30 as well. So congratulations to the Nationals and moving out of the basement. Now, before we get into my power rankings, if you like daily MLB content, hit that subscribe button down below and leave a like on this video. Help it reach more baseball fans. Let me know if you agree with my power rankings or if you completely disagree. Let me know if I have your team too high or too low. And let me know what your favorite team is down in the comment section below. I want to know what kind of fans I have watching this video. If I got Yankees fans, Blue Jays fans, Astros fans, whoever it is. Hopefully you're all Angels fans like myself. Don't worry, I didn't rank the Angels too high. I actually dropped the Angels this week after their losses to the Orioles, but we'll get into that right now. Without further ado, let's get into these power rankings. Starting off with 30 through 26, I got the new team at number 30. That is the Cincinnati Reds. Like they're 2-13. End of story. They're 2-13. They're easily the worst team in baseball. I can't believe I didn't have them at 30 last week. That's my bad, honestly. 29, we got the Washington Nationals. They were number 30 last week. I have them at 29 now. Outside of Juan Soto, honestly, their lineup's okay, but I'm pretty sure they have the worst pitching staff in all of baseball. Patrick Corbin is absolutely washed up. Strasburg's hurt. They have no bullpen. Their team's just really bad outside of like the top of their lineup. So anyways, Nationals at number 30. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates at 28 after their 21-0 loss to the Chicago Cubs. Gotta have them in there at 28. They're not the worst bad team, but they're still a bad team, so we gotta have them somewhere in the bottom 5. That's where I got them right now. Next up, we got the Oakland Athletics. We're finally starting to see what kind of team they are. I really don't think they're as good as they started the season off as. They're definitely going to come back down to earth. I do really like Christian Pache, though. He's a really good social media presence, and he's a really good ball player. So, no fans, and they're just not a great baseball team. So, have them at number 27. Number 26, we got the Kansas City Royals. That lineup has not been hitting like it should be, and their pitching staff is just not good. So, that's why I got the Royals down at number 26. Let's go ahead and check out numbers 25 through 21. All right, next up, we got the Texas Rangers at number 25. The worst pitching staff in all of baseball, in my opinion. Maybe them and the Nationals kind of having a sword fight for the number 30th pitching staff in all of baseball, I guess. Up at 24, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks. They've actually been surprisingly good. I think they've been playing well above what they have been ranked as. I really have liked what they've been doing. They've been really competitive with the Mets, and they played the Mets like 6 times in the last 2 weeks. So I really like what I'm seeing out of Arizona right now. I don't think they're a good team, but their pitching's been lights out, and their hitting's been just good enough to win some ball games for them. So starting to like the Arizona Diamondbacks. I don't want to talk about this team. Do I have to talk about the Orioles? After taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees, they've already taken 2 of 3 from the Angels, and they might even sweep us today, man. They are playing well above their talent level right now. And honestly, their lineup's pretty good, man. Cedric Mullins has been really good. Jorge Mateo's got that sneaky speed at the bottom of the lineup for them. Anthony Santander's pretty solid. Ryan Mountcastle was a former top prospect, and obviously he's pretty good. Trey Mancini's pretty solid. Overall, they've got a pretty good lineup. Their pitching staff is just what I'm worried about with them, and it's been pretty damn good. It's been good enough, I should say. It hasn't been lights out, but it's been pretty damn good to start the year. So Orioles at 23 right now. Honestly, I've been very impressed. Up at 22, we got the Chicago Cubs. I think the Chicago Cubs are going to, like, they're 22 in my power rankings for a reason. Look at the competition they're going to have to play this year. They're going to have to play the number 30 team in baseball. The worst team in baseball at the moment. They get to play them, 12 plus times. Next, you got the Pirates. They get to play them 12 plus times. All they have to worry about is playing the Brewers and the Cardinals. So I think this team could easily finish over 500. I talked about it in my hot takes video. Just because they're going to be win merchants. They're just going to beat up on these bad teams, and they're pretty much only playing bad teams. So lucky for the Cubs, their record is going to be better than they are. That's how I feel about the Cubs. Cubs at 22 right now. And then just out of the top 20, we got the Detroit Tigers. I had them at 20 last week, sorry. They just haven't really impressed me much. I don't think they've been producing as much as they should. And I will say the pitching isn't very good, but overall, I'm a little disappointed in this Tigers team. I think they're better than what they've been playing like. Next up at number 20, we've got the Minnesota Twins. The Twins and Tigers, I flip-flopped them this time. They have a slightly better record than the Detroit Tigers, and honestly, that kind of played a factor in. I feel like they're on a very similar level right now. They're both underproducing, underperforming. It's going to be very interesting when these two teams play each other. I think we'll get it ironed out which team is better, but right now they're very similar in my opinion. I dropped the Phillies all the way to 19th, man. They were number 11 last week in my power rankings. This team just isn't good enough, in my opinion. The pitching is really, really, really bad. The defense is really, really, really bad. And honestly, their worst defender right now might be Alec Boehm, which is kind of crazy. I expected it to be either Castellanos or Schwarber. Just overall, this defense is terrible. The pitching is terrible. Even Zach Wheeler's been struggling early on. This team, I think they'll get it ironed out and be around a 500 team, but honestly, the way the NL East standings are right now is exactly how I predicted it. You got the Mets way over 500, and outside of that, you really don't have anything. I think every other team in that division is under 500, with the Phillies as a fourth place team. I think they will end the year as a fourth place team, and that's also why I got the Marlins ranked ahead of them right now. 18, we got the Rockies. I gotta show some respect to them, man. They're 10-5. I gotta show some respect to that. They are so good right now. They're playing very good baseball. They're honestly competing with the Dodgers and the Giants right now, which is insane. I honestly think there's a small chance. There's a small chance that they're better than the Padres. I need to see a lot more. Maybe at the All-Star break, I'll feel comfortable with that statement, but there's a small chance, at least without Tatis, that they're better than the Padres. Once Tatis comes back, the Padres will probably get going, but right now, the Colorado Rockies look great. Up at 17, we've got the Miami Marlins. I like the Miami Marlins a lot. You guys know I'm very high on this team. I did drop them one spot just because they haven't been impressing me too much, but they had a really nice late game comeback against the Braves last night. Very nice back and forth game where their offense came through. Jazz Chisholm's playing like an MVP candidate right now. I really like Jesus Sanchez. I really like Jesus Luzardo in their rotation. Their whole rotation's great, and their bullpen's been good enough. I just think if they can get the bats going, that could be a really scary team. Maybe even challenge for second place in the NL East. Up at 16, we got the Boston Red Sox. I just don't believe in this team, I'll be honest. I had them at 15 last week. I dropped them down to 16. I just don't believe in them. I don't think their offense is nearly as good. They almost got no hit yesterday. And then their bullpen, which has been pretty good to start the year, I'll be honest. I've been impressed with their bullpen to start the year. They blow the game in the 9th with 2 outs. And it wasn't even necessarily their bullpen, because they had a ground ball to second base to end the game. And then Trevor Story makes a bad throw to first baseman Bobby Dahlbeck. And next thing you know, Hansel Robles gives up the walk-off home run to Kevin Kiermaier. Absolutely electric, by the way. If you haven't seen it, we watched it in the watch party last night. It was amazing. But anyways, I don't believe in their bullpen. I don't like their defense. Honestly, I don't like their lineup as much as last year either, so 16th is where I got the Red Sox right now. All right, Guardians fans, you can get off me now because I have the Cleveland Guardians in the top 15. I put them just above the Red Sox. I honestly think they've been playing well above their talent level, but who knows? Maybe they'll be able to sustain it. Every single team in the AL Central right now is not above 500. Because the Guardians are at 500. They're 7-7 so far. This is a very winnable division, especially with Eloy Jimenez getting hurt yesterday. The White Sox struggling with a lot of injuries to guys like Lance Lynn. Giolito was on the IL for a bit. Crochet needs Tommy John surgery. I definitely think that's a winnable division, and the Guardians have been playing the best baseball so far. Can they do it for a full season? It's too early to tell. One injury could really derail that team, so I'm definitely going to be a little suspect on them, but for now, 15 feels like a really good spot for them. Oh, the Angels, man, they took 3 of 4 from Texas, which is what they should have done. Then they took 2 of 3 from Houston, and I was ready to move them up. I was like, oh baby, top 10, top 11, come on, let me move them up. And then they lost two in a row to the Orioles. I can't move a team up that lost 2 in a row to the Orioles. Like, come on, man. I had them at 13 last week. I wanted to move them up to at least 11, maybe top 10. But after losing 2 to the Orioles, you can't do that. Can't do that. 13, we got the San Diego Padres. They've been playing very good baseball. Their rotation's been very solid. Their bullpen's been better than expected, in my opinion. And they just beat the Dodgers last night. The offense has been doing just enough to hang in there with the absence of Tatis for another month or so. I'm really impressed with what they've been doing. Another team I'm very impressed with, man. I hate to say it, but the Seattle Mariners are really, really good. First place in the AL West at the moment after the Angels lost to the O's last night. They've been beating up on the Royals. They beat up on the Rangers. I think they lost 1 to the Rangers, so I think the same thing as the Angels. They lost 1 in the series. I think they took 2 of 3. And they kind of beat up on the Astros too. So very good ball club over there in Seattle. I'm very scared. The Angels Mariners series is going to be a very important one for the Angels this year. So we'll have to see. And then the biggest jump on the board this power ranking cycle is the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers, I believe I had them at 16 last week, all the way up to number 11 now. Their pitching is starting to come together, and their offense is doing just enough to get by. When Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff are on, that's just 2 free wins a week. That's 2 free wins a week. All you got to do is score 1 run and the game's over. So 2 free wins a week. Worst case scenario, they go 2-5 in a week, or 2-4 in a week. So overall, that's where I got the Brewers right now. Let's head into the top 10, see what has changed in our top 10 of the power rankings. All right, staying at number 10 from last week, we got the Tampa Bay Rays over at number 10. They've been pretty solid. I don't dislike the team. I think they're worse than I projected them to be to start the year. But that walk-off win was huge last night, and their pitching staff pitched very well yesterday. They had a bullpen game, and they almost no-hit the Boston Red Sox, which is no easy task. So I still really like the Rays, but down at number 10. I think it started the season at number 2, so a little bit of a fall from grace there. Up at number 9 as well, we got the White Sox, another fall from grace. They have not been playing very well, very good baseball so far this season, so a little disappointed in what I've seen from the White Sox. I think they will put it all together some point, but for now I got the White Sox at number 9. Feels like a pretty good spot for them with the way their pitching staff's been pitching, as well as the way their offense and defense has been atrocious out in Chicago. Tim Anderson might be the worst defensive shortstop in baseball. It's just been a very, very tough last week or so for the Chicago White Sox. Up at number 8, we got the Atlanta Braves. They are still under 500, so I really don't have a lot of faith in this team. I'll be completely honest. Up at number 8, they are still good, don't get me wrong. I think their lineup's great. Ozzie Albies, I think, leads the league in home runs. He's been on a tear. Matt Olson is still very, very good. Austin Riley is still very, very good. Their bullpen has honestly been the most suspect part of them, which is so weird because they have guys like, Kenley Jansen's supposed to be really good back there. Will Smith was a pretty good closer last year. Even guys like, who's that dude who came in last night? Spencer Strider has been very good to start the year as well. AJ Minter's been very good. Overall, they've just had a pretty solid bullpen, but guys like Kenley Jansen and Will Smith and Jesse Chavez have just not been playing up to par with what they were advertised at. Colin McHugh's had a rough start to the year as well. Guys like Ian Anderson in the rotation. Even, what's his name? Max Fried got off to a pretty slow start until he had that really good start against the Dodgers the other day. So, a little worried about the pitching staff. Lineup, I have no concerns about. So, still a very good team, but I got him at number 8. Number 7, the St. Louis Cardinals, featuring MVP candidate, probably MVP frontrunner in the National League, him or Jazz Chisholm. That is Nolan Arenado and the St. Louis Cardinals. I think the Cardinals' pitching has been better than advertised, and I know their offense is going to be good regardless. And obviously the best defensive team in all of baseball. So number 7 just feels like a really good spot for them. Honestly, it hasn't been more of what they've done. It's been more of how bad these 3 teams played. I had to move them up to number 7 because these 3 teams just have not been impressing me, and the Cardinals have been playing exactly where I expect them to be. So number 7 for the Cardinals. Next up at number 6, we've got the New York Yankees. As despite the Yankees losing 2 of 3 from the Orioles about a week ago, they've been very good outside of that. Their pitching has been dominant. Nestor Cortez is the real deal, man. I don't know what happened. He was so bad with the Mariners a few years back, and all of a sudden he's lights out. He's a true strikeout pitcher in New York. Don't know what's happening over there. I love his energy, though. Nestor Cortez has been good. Luis Severino's been good. Their entire bullpen's been good. Chapman, Loaizaga, like you name it, that entire bullpen's been great. Honestly, I'm just a little worried about their offense, but I think their offense will pick it up. Aaron Judge is off to a pretty hot start. Donaldson's starting to get it together. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has been pretty good for them too. So overall, I really like this team. Number 6 in my power rankings. Number 5, I had them at number 3 last week. That is the Houston Astros. After losing to the Toronto Blue Jays, I had to flip-flop them. The Toronto Blue Jays impressed me a lot this week, taking 2 of 3 from the Houston Astros. And honestly, they beat Verlander. They also won with Alek Manoah on the mound. Alek Manoah is the real deal. I think he's a true ace, and that rotation starting to come along as well. George Springer homers in his first at-bat against his former team. I just think the Blue Jays really impressed me here, and their bullpen was really, really solid in these games as well, and their offense just never says never quits, you know. They're just very good at stringing some hits together, rallying. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is electric. That whole team's got great energy. So number 4 for the Blue Jays, number 5 for the Astros. Let's get into the top 3. That means there's a new team in the top 3. Let's take a look at who it is. I think you guys already know. Yes, sir. At number 3, I love when my narratives come to fruition, and that is the San Francisco Giants at the number 3 spot in my power rankings. Oh my God, they've been so good. I love their lineup. I love the energy that they bring. Gabe Kapler's the best manager in all of baseball. Their pitching staff is probably the best in all of baseball. They're just so freaking good, bro. Honestly, you know, I might have them too low. You know what? No, I don't. Number 3 is good. The New York Mets at number 2. The Mets took 3 of 4 from the Giants, so I couldn't have the Giants above the Mets as much as I wanted to. The Mets have been losing some games to bad teams, though, so might be a flip-flop coming in the future. But for now, Giants at 3, Mets at 2, and then the Dodgers at number 1. The Dodgers haven't... I don't know, man. I don't know. At some point, I want them to be out of the number 1 spot, but for now, there's just nothing I can do. What do you want me to do? Take the Dodgers out of the number 1 spot? I can't. Their pitching's great. Their defense is great. Their offense is great. Everything about them. Their base running's great. Their hair is great. Literally anything about them. They're just fantastic. They're just a great baseball team. So that is my power rankings for the week. Let's take a look at numbers 1 through 30 real quick. All right, so there you have it. Numbers 1 through 30 in my power rankings going into this week. Let me know if you disagree or agree with any of my picks down in the comment section below. Let me know your power rankings in the comment section. I'm down to react to them. I'm down to talk a little bit of baseball with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.